What is up guys, it's your boy Solheim here, back with another War Within Goldmaking video for you, and today I'll be showcasing one of the primary methods that I'm using to make gold at the moment in the War Within, and this is something I've been doing for several weeks now, and it's making me a bunch of gold still, even to this day. Now this will be kind of a mailbox opening video while talking about what I'm doing, and just giving you more of an insight, and I'll be keeping track of the characters in this video as well to see exactly how much gold we have made recently. Now I believe I have stocked up about 2 weeks of mailbox openings here, so we can do 2 weeks of gold income to see exactly how much gold we made in about 2 weeks time. Now before we get into the video itself, a really quick shout out to the Goldmaking Guide here is that we do currently have 3 videos in exclusive access to people that have my Goldmaking Guide or are subscribed on Patreon. On Patreon we also have an exclusive video diving deeper into the topic of today's video, where we go through exactly how to set this up and talk way more in depth about it. Now, when you subscribe either on Patreon or have this Goldmaking Guide, currently we have 3 videos in exclusive access, one of which is probably arguably the best way to make gold at the moment in the War Within that I'm not planning on making public anytime soon. And the reason for that is that anytime a goldmaking method becomes public, it kind of ruins the method a little bit, and it's good to keep a couple of methods of making gold kind of still relevant and really good. So we're trying to keep that one a little bit gated, and it might make its way public eventually, not by me but by somebody else, but 3 videos in exclusive access that you get access to when you buy the guide. And something I'm trying to do here is give you guys as much value as I can for supporting me as well. It is a great way to help me just be able to make the videos I want to make, instead of trying to chase the views by making top 10s or just trying to chase the views by clickbaiting regular titles in WoW and just focusing on what I love, which is gold making. So thank you so much for the support, it really means a lot, and once again I just try my best to give you the best value back that I can from you supporting me. And if you haven't checked out the guide yet, the link will be down below. Now let's get into the main gold making method of today. Now the first thing here is that I need to get these characters out of Stormwind. I mean, we finally have a mount now with both an auctioneer and a mailbox on the same thing, and we can summon the warband bank through an actual ability in the game, so there's no real need for me to be in Stormwind anymore, but at the same time, I'm not posting millions of auctions here. So for me, posting my auctions, it's completely fine. Now for posting auctions, I post them with TSM and Auctionator. It kind of varies, like if you have a good TSM setup, then TSM is absolutely great. You can just click one button or use a scroll wheel, you make a macro for it, and post auctions really fast. Now the same thing is for Auctioneer as well, like if you don't want to use TSM or you have if you just don't know how TSM works, or you just don't want to get into TSM, I'm using Auctioneer every now and then as well, which is really good because all I need to do is go to the selling option, I click on an item, and I can press space. So if I want to post these right now at a little bit of a higher price, like let's just post this one, I can just simply click space and it posts that item at the current lowest price that I can. So I can just click the next item, one left click, and then a space bar. Super simple with Auctionator as well. Now TSM is usually even better. You just run a post scan and then you post the items at the current price by just making a macro, for example, and then scroll wheeling. You can post all of the items I currently have in my bags in about 1 minute or even less. Now I am making a lot of my gold by selling multiple items on multiple servers, both flipping and crafting. So in my bags right now you can see that my bags are basically split in 2, where the top half is flipping items, so I'm buying these blues very cheap and then trying to sell them for expensive. And if you just take an example from the mailbox here, we have for example, I mean, first of all, this Weavercloth Alchemist robe cost me about 200 gold to make, and sold for 4.7k. Meanwhile, some servers out there, they are way cheaper. Now, one good example of a flip would be this one right here, the Spinner's Amulet of the Fire Flash. I bought a bunch of these yesterday for 2,500 gold each, and I'm selling them for anywhere between 8,000 and 20,000. Now scrolling down a little bit, we have this one, Spinner's Amulet, selling for 19,000 gold. That is 24 days ago though, but 19,000 gold for the amulet, that once again I'm paying between 2,000 and 3,000 for it. And it recently sold for 8,000 as well. So flipping items, you can double your gold, triple your gold, quadruple your gold. It is absolutely insane. Now, You can see once again in my bags we are flipping quite a few items. I'm focusing on both weapons, we have necklaces, we have rings, we have cloaks, and I'm buying some cheap blues as well every now and then. And typically what I do here is that I just search on the auction house and buy whatever is cheap. Now you want to identify cheap servers to buy items on, but once you have done that, all I do is go to armor, plate, and then click search, and if anything is super cheap, I buy what's super cheap. Like currently this one is for 240 gold, I can sell that for over 2000 gold on the right server. Even on this server, like this was a plate and it's a hand, so plate hands, and they're usually going for 2.9k. I just bought one for 240 gold, and typically I don't just buy one item, I go through the entire thing, and in about like 1 hour's time, or even 10 minutes, 20 minutes, I probably buy 200 items super cheap, and then I put them into the war bank and I take them out on different servers, and then try to sell them for expensive. Now, I also have a bunch of crafted items, many of which makes me a lot of gold. Like once again we have the weaver cloth robe from the mailbox here, that cost me about 200-300 gold to make, sold for 4.7k. Absolutely insane profit. Now, one thing I'm going to do before I start accepting the mailbox here is put all of the gold that I have into the war bank, just to make it super simple to keep track. So we have 142,000 gold, 946. So we're going to deposit this into the war bank. We now have 0 gold, and it's time to open mailbox on character number 1. Now, we are going to keep track of everything in this video, so you can see exactly how much gold I've made, but it's going to be a little bit hard to say how much of that is actually profit, because when it comes to flipping, like sometimes I double my gold, sometimes I triple my gold, and sometimes I literally 10 times my gold. But what's common is that I always make a profit, and at the very least I double my gold every single time, but I usually do more than double. So I would say, if you just take a rough estimation here, I probably spent about 100,000 gold and got 469,000 gold back, so about like a triple my investment, give or take. Now, while it is a little bit difficult to keep track of exactly how much profit we made per character, so we're guesstimating here, what I have done is I have kept track of my spendings the last 2 weeks, and how much gold I have spent on both crafting these items that I'm now selling, and bought the blues with. So I've spent 600,000 gold on these items, and on character number 1, we almost made that back. Now, one thing that's important to note here is that I still haven't sold all of my items. I mean, you can look in my bags right now and we still have a full bag of items that we are posting on the auction house all the time. Now, one thing I want to point out, because this is a mailbox opening after all, is that I messed up my TSM settings for about 3 days, so there are 3 days where there are way less sales than there should have been. As you can see here, from the 26 days ago until the 23 days ago, we literally made 3 sales in 2 days. Now, those sales were pretty good sales, especially this one, the amulet for 18k, but basically my TSM settings made me post items at the highest price instead of the lowest price. So everything I posted was literally at the highest price possible, so I basically got no sales, except for a couple of them. Now, the ones that I got once again were decent sales, but if I had better settings, I could have made way more gold by just selling more items, and yeah, so basically 3 days I messed up myself, but as you can see here, this is 10 days of selling items, and we got 228,000 gold back on this character as well. So 228, I did forget to post to put the gold into the war bank, but 228, so we're going to update this right now with 228. I think we had a little bit more, like after in the 228k, but let's just put it like this, and yeah, let's round down to 228 just to keep it simple. So far this is what we have made, which is about 700k, like almost 700k, very close. Time to go to character number 3. Time for character number 3, and this is the only horde character that I'm actually selling things on. So in the mail right now we have 323 mails. Now this server is not the best one in terms of price, but I'm selling the pretty good quantities, and I'm making profit on everything I'm selling, even though the profit margins are a little bit less. But this time around we're hunting for quantity of sales instead of quality of sales. So we are making profit, but not that much. Now we're just going to open all of the mail here because we did clean out our bags, or the gold at least, put that into the war bank. So we started opening this mail with 0 gold, so all the gold we have at the end will be what we have made on this character so far the last, I think it's 2 weeks, roughly 2 weeks of just posting. Might have to reload here, now we're fine. So some of the items we're making really good profit on, like this one, the Earth Forged Haubergeon of the Fever Flare. I usually buy those very cheap. We're looking at a couple hundred gold each, maybe up to 500 gold. I usually don't pay more than 500 gold for those blues, and they always sell for about 1 to several thousand, so it just depends. Now on this character we made 497,000 gold, so we're going to put that into here as well just to keep track. So on this one, character number 3, we made 497,248 gold. Now, one more thing I want to tell you guys in the middle of the video here, for those of you who are still watching at this point, is that if you haven't gotten Zygor yet, not only is Zygor a very good leveling add-on, for those of you who don't use TSM, it's really good for posting auctions as well. Over here we have the Zygor window for posting, and it already gives you an indication of whether or not this item has gone up in price, or if it's the regular price, or going down in price. So here you can see this one right here, prices are rising, consider selling. This one right here, prices are normal, and then we have a couple of downtrends. Now over here, all I have to do when I'm posting an item is click on the item, and then we can just post. So you can just, like, instead of going to your bags and finding the item you want to post, you can just click on it from this window. So if you only want to sell in the overpriced items, then literally just go to those and post those items from that window. You can check out Zygor, by the way, through the link down below, in the pinned comment down below, or in the video description, where I have a referral link. That way you are directly supporting me and getting yourself a really good add-on at the same time. Next up, we have character number 4, who is typically doing really well in sales. We are making some really decent flips here, and we're selling Aetherweave Expedition Packs, the Dragonflight bags, for 1,700 gold each, and we should have been selling quite a few of those. So far we have sold 37 of these bags on this server alone, by the way, for prices between 778 or 1.1k. Now it's not considering this price because I haven't picked those mails yet, but as you can see we're selling a bunch of these bags on pretty much all different servers. So on this character, actually we have to mount up again, and taking a look at the mailbox right now, we have 356 mails, and in the first 100 we have 162,000. We have already deposited all the gold into the war bank, so let's just open everything here and see exactly how much gold we end up with at the end. Now over here we also sold a bulwark from yesterday for 8,000 gold, and I'm just going to tell you right now, I bought those shields for 500 gold yesterday, so flipping from 500 gold to 8,000 gold, I mean, I'll take that. Then we have the ring once again, selling for 9,000 gold, we bought those for about 3,000 gold each, this one as well, 9.5k for a ring as well, and over here, Earthforged Sabatons, that's the feet, and I usually pay about 500 gold for those as well, whenever I buy them. Now the trick here is to just buy them as cheap as possible, so keep an eye out on the auction house and just find cheap blues and then try to sell them for more expensive. Now I did say this character was probably gonna do really well in sales, and it really looks like we are. I'm even picking up some old mails here as well from 3 days ago, so something happened there where we didn't pick it up last time, but we ended up with 954,000 gold on this character. Now we did pick up some old mails, not sure exactly what happened there, but 954,000, I will definitely take that. So here we have the The keeping track so far, 954, 849 gold on character number 4. Now on character number 5, we are in the same boat as character number 4. We're looking at about 346 males of sold auctions, and we have already almost 200k in the first 100 males. We have deposited all of the gold into the war bank so far, so we're starting from scratch, and we're opening everything. Now, we still haven't sold everything, like we still have a bag full of items that I'm going to post after this, but let's just see how much gold we have made, and in roughly how long. Now, it does look like it's more like 3 weeks of me selling items here, not just 2 weeks, so probably 3 weeks of making gold here. Might have to reload the UI, no, it's fine. Over here as well, Bismuth Miner's Headgear. This is a green item, by the way, sold for 18,000 gold. That's pretty insane, and that was about 2 weeks ago, I believe, so like, prices are not usually like that, but it just shows that people are willing to pay about everything. 18,000 gold for a green profession equipment? I would never pay that myself, but some people out there, they would. Now, over here on this character, we're looking at 812,000 gold, so we're going to put that in as well on character number 5, 812,000 gold, and 702 gold. There we go. Now, something I'm just going to mention in the middle here while I'm posting some items again on this character before I log on to character number 6 is that while prices are going down on items, the profit margins are basically still the same. Before I used to buy these for about 7,000 gold, and I sold them for 14. Let's just say you doubled your gold, right? This time around, I'm selling them for 7,000 gold, like posting this one here. If we just skip back 3 weeks, this would be a bad sale. I would usually buy them at this price, but now I'm buying these necklaces for under 3,000 gold each, or between 2.5 and 3.5 usually. So I can buy the items way cheaper now. Like, yes, they have gone down in price, but they're usually still cheaper on some servers out there, so it's not something you are too late to the party at. If anything, this gold making method is just even better now because the barrier to entry is way lower. Instead of spending 10,000 gold on a necklace, hoping to flip it for 20, you can now buy it for 3, and then sell it for 10, or 7. You're doubling and tripling your gold every single time. These shields as well used to be way more expensive in the past. I buy them for between 500 gold and 1,000 gold. I mean, looking at my TSM stats right now, I recently bought 3 of them on this server for 999 gold, and they're currently selling for 4,000. So one sale makes up for buying 4 shields, and you can just compound it like that. Like, the scalability of this is crazy. Now, on character number 6, we're looking at 250 males, so 254, and I guess before we start, we should deposit all of the current gold we have into the war bank just to keep things clean. So 59,758 should be everything we have. There we go. And then we open the males, and let's see how much we end up with. We're looking at 240k from the first 100, so let's go. Let's open everything. Now, on this server, we're once again selling basically the same things. We're selling crafted items and a bunch of flipping items. I will say that most of my sales are flips, so like me buying blues and then selling for a higher price. Here we have a ring selling for 17,000 gold, for example. The crafted gear doesn't really sell for that much more, but it's way better for me to craft crafted equipment and then sell them on my flipping servers instead of just selling the raw reagents. So if I'm doing a skinning farm, for example, here we have a sword, by the way. These swords I bought for 200 gold each, and it just sold for 7.7k. That is 30 times your investment back, so one sale made up for me buying 30 swords. That's pretty insane. Now, that's right there, that is all of the items picked up. 739,000 gold on this character. At this point, we have 2 more left to go. I have not put in character number 8 yet, so let's just do that now. But we have 8 characters, and on this character we made 739,210 gold. And then we have character 7 and character 8 to get a full overview of exactly how much gold we have made. Now for character number 7, we're looking at 206 males, and once again, before we start, I should probably deposit my gold. I usually do that when I have the break from the recording, but here we go, depositing 7,964. And then we start with 0 gold, and then we open all of the males and see exactly how much we end up with. Now, based on this one, I guess we're gonna be at about 500k. Between 400 and 500, we're getting some really decent sales here. Now, I have been selling way more flips than crafted equipment, as you can see. Based on these males at least, we're selling way more of the flipping items, because that is just easier for me. Here as well, we have a couple of the amulet, for example, the necklace for 14,000, and a ring for 10,000. Now, once again, for the crafted equipment, it is just that I value my time spent, and when it comes to skinning, for example, instead of just selling the skins, I just make way more gold. If I send that to my leather worker, or if I just put it into the war bank and use the reagents to craft on my leather worker, and make equipment with it. The same thing goes for cloth farming. I am much better off sending that to my tailor and crafting professional equipment with the cloth as well. Same thing for herbalism and mining, do the same thing there as well. Basically turning the materials that I have been farming for into even more gold by just using them in crafting and then selling the crafted product. Now on this character, after overlooting all of the mains, we're looking at 566,000 gold, and we only have one more character left to go. These mailbox openings are a little bit long, so I'm sorry about that, but then again, it's just like a time for me to sit down, talk to you guys, and show you how much gold I've made and how I've made it. So once again, 566 and 146. Then we have one character left to go, which usually doesn't have that much gold. It's on a RP server, so like the economy there is different, but sometimes I do get some really juicy sales. Now for the last character, everything fits on one page, so we don't have to deposit any gold, we can just count from here, and we're looking at 292,271. So let's put that in here as well. 292,271 gold. And this is basically all that we have made so far in about 3 weeks. Now in total, that gives us this right here, where everything at the end, when we take away the 600,000 gold spent on these items, we're looking at a profit of 3,960,191 gold. Basically, 3 million gold. Now, this was about 3 weeks of me selling items. We did pick up some old mails as well that for some reason got bugged out and wasn't picked up until this time around. But 3 weeks of selling, that is about 1.3 million gold every single week. In profit. This is after me spending, so 1.3 million gold per week, and as you can see, it doesn't really require that much of gold up front either. Like, yes, it's a 600,000 gold investment, but you're basically guaranteed to make gold unless something drastic happens. And I've been doing this ever since launch, or I started doing this in week 2, I believe, and we've been making gold ever since. The market hasn't really crashed so far. It is a really good way to make gold, and I actually have made more gold than this, because these characters are only my quote-unquote flipping characters. So these 8 characters here are my flipping servers and my flipping bank accounts basically. I also sell these items that I'm flipping on my main server, but I do loot the mailbox on my main server all the time, like literally every single day, so I can't really count that one, so we do have a little bit more gold than this, so you can basically add one more character's worth of gold into this as well. But either way, 1.3 million gold every single day, or every single day really, every single week in profit is definitely not bad. Now for the time this takes when it comes to, first of all, you want to have some gold, but you can just start small. Start by selling on one server, then use the profit from one server to expand. That's what I did. I started on 2, now I'm on 8. So I just started small, basically got a proof of work that I had to see it working, and and I had to see how fast we get the sales, if I can flip the items regularly without losing gold, and after seeing that it worked, I just kept expanding. Now, I'm probably not going to expand past 8 servers because of the time it takes, so let's talk about that for a quick second. I spend about 2 hours per week on maintenance here, so we have 1 hour per week that I'm just buying a bunch of items. I try to do that around the weekend time because that is when most people are at home farming, and therefore they get more items, they post them on the auction house, so items tend to go down a little bit in price in the weekend time. So I usually buy blues around the weekend. Now, once again, I just pay attention to the auction house there, buy whenever it makes sense, and it takes me about 1 hour per week to just look at the auction house, buy items cheap, put them into the war bank, and take them out. That is 1 hour per week of maintenance right there. Then we have the crafted items. Once again, crafting these items doesn't really take that long. We're crafting about 50 items per character, so 400 crafted items. We put them all into the war bank, and then we take them out. I do say 2 hours per week is probably way less, but let's just say 2 hours per week, and then when it comes to posting, that's about half an hour every single day. But I usually do that whenever I'm eating breakfast, whenever I'm having whatever meal I'm having. It's either breakfast time or lunch time, basically before I go to the gym. I just sit down, post some auctions, eat some food, watch some Netflix or watch some YouTube, and it's just chill. So it does take some time. Is it the best gold that you can make? I mean, it's like give and take. It's really good. I mean, 1.3 million gold per week for me, and it's 2 hours of work plus half an hour per day, so that would be like 5 hours in total, roughly. So 5 hours to make 1.3 million gold, I would say that's pretty good. Now, that is a long mailbox opening video, almost half an hour at this point, but I just want to be transparent about how I make my gold, and throughout this video we basically showed every single mail. You've been able to see both my bags and the mailbox itself, so you know what has been selling, what hasn't been selling, and what I'm currently selling, and how much I'm currently selling it for. You've been able to see absolutely all the numbers, so I'm just being transparent about that, and this is basically how I make my gold. There's 2 main methods that I currently make gold with in the War Within, and that is doing these flips that I'm doing right here and the crafted items and selling those on multiple servers, and then we have concentration crafts. Now, at this point, there's a couple of, like, some people still don't understand what the difference is between a region-wide auction house and a server-specific auction house, because we were told that auction houses are being region-wide, and that's technically true, but anything stackable is basically still on the specific server auction house, which means that if I post something like this, that is on the server specific auction house. But if I search up something like, let's just say Thunderous Hide, this is stackable. It is a material and it's something you can stack. When it's something you can stack, it's on the region-wide auction house, but when it's something you can stack, like even these bags, they are on the server-specific auction house. That is why I'm selling on 8 or 9 different characters, because these ones are on server-specific auction houses, and some of the bags that I've been selling are selling for 700 gold each. On this one, they are 2000 gold each. Now, for reference, these bags cost me about 200 gold to make. So this is 10 time upsell. That is not bad. Either way, I'm going to end this video before the half-hour mark, so thank you for watching, I really do appreciate it, and let me know how you are making gold in the comments down below. As always, leave a like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe for more content, and thank you once again. I'll see you again in the next video very soon.